Hi, today is May the 6th, 2021, and I'm going to be reading on the situation that we have with this rash of passengers on airplanes losing their cool and just being outrageous and causing problems. So I want to ask the tarot, the spirit of the tarot, the creator, the truth, my spiritual mentors to help me to read accurately and clearly on this matter of why people are doing this. I know that a lot of it is people are feeling a lot of pressure from the quarantine and combination with other stressors and the political climate, I think, are causing this. But it's peculiar. So, I'm going to try and read on it and see what comes up. Why are people acting like this? Throwing these temper tantrums on airplanes all of a sudden. What does the tarot, what do the ancestors, the creator, the universe have to say about that? All right. Well, to me, this is definitely to do with the pandemic and having been cooped up, feeling like you can't move. So there's a sense I'm getting a frustration. Justice. Crossing them. There's peace. There's a need for peace and peace of mind. And for people to calm down. Let's see what else I get. Yeah. It's based upon people feeling like they've had to endure so much already. And there's already a pent-up great deal of frustration with that Nine of Wands. And so I think once they finally get to where they're going to be traveling, I think there's a great deal of already pent-up feelings here. And in their attempt to get out and go and do something. I just feel like that Eight of Wands, this is movement, this is travel, this is also activity, and flying, no less. But I feel that this is because of the trauma of the last 5 years of what has gone on politically in this country, with animosity being shown as, and rudeness is shown as acceptable and indeed admirable. I also feel like really combined with the quarantine, people that are not used to being that limited are losing their cool. They don't know how to live, how to function like that, how to try to deal with that. That's what comes up here. They're already feel like they've been through a lot of battles. And so there's a sense of that they have a right now. I feel like there's a sense of frustration and a sense of once they are traveling that they got a bit of an attitude already because they haven't been able to travel. It's just like somebody that's got that is just a bad attitude. Bear is watching the birdies. Yes, you see birdies. Okay. The Emperor. I think that's left over from Trump. I think that it's part of the people that are connected and identify with him, and that kind of behavior, this outrageousness. But I also feel like this is justice, this is authority stepping in and saying, that won't be happening. You will not be going anywhere. You will be grounded with that Four of Swords for this behavior. You will not be carrying on to your journey, your destination. You will be carrying on to the destination of the authorities. Again, it has to do with people having been, I think, limited, and here they feel like they're getting their opportunity and they're pissy. They're just highly strung and wound up. And then if you add alcohol onto it, I think if they're traveling, then you're going to have issues too. This is the feeling, again, of not going anywhere, of being stuck, and feeling like they don't have any control in a situation, that they are just so subject with the Two of Swords. And they feel like anyone else telling them to be still or having to be told not to do something is just too much for some people to handle. They feel like they've endured enough already. And this comes from, I think, a great deal of unprocessed grief, loss, especially with COVID. So I see suppressed issue of like low-lying, it's depression. And people are irritable and they're acting irrational. So I'm getting the answer is many people have developed from being isolated and from feeling like they can't or don't have much in way of being in control. And then once they get the opportunity to move, to get going, to do something, I think their tempers are short. And it stems from definitely the pandemic. And I think the attitude of Trump of that you can you can act like an idiot. People need to reflect upon their behavior. If they're inclined to act like that, this is saying you need a timeout. And they have that sense of being isolated and abandoned. It's, I think, the pandemic that has made them feel involuntarily stuck. And they want to move on and out of this time of the pandemic. But the thing is that you act like that, you won't be doing anything. So they want to move on, but they need to do some inner awareness here about their behavior. There's just like no self-awareness. Yeah. And I believe that this is definitely connected to pandemic stress type of situation. We're getting clarity with the Ace of Swords and the Hanged Man. So it's definitely connected to the pandemic, and that people need to just stop with their knee-jerk reactions and look at things from a different perspective with regard to this pandemic and grow up. Really, it's about growing up, maturing, getting a different point of view than one that is reactionary. This is activity with the Knight of Wands and the Seven of Cups. There's kind of a dilutedness or confusion, I think, also too, about activity with regard to travel and COVID, and some people are yet still very deluded, and they want to push, I feel like DeSantis saying that there's no more emergency. Just because you're fed up with it doesn't mean that there isn't an emergency. He's going to have, I predict with the cards from what I saw, likely something devastating that will happen with regard to that decision that will end his career. But I'm looking at passengers and stuff. Their behavior is surprising. It's a choice of behavior too. It's like, come on, you know how to behave. Don't act like a child, is what it's saying. It's really a matter of people having self-awareness, of course, and being a grown-up. So this is pandemic based. All right? All right, I'm going to get on to the next reading. So if you like this content, please make sure to like, make sure you're subscribed, and share, comment, what you feel like doing. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.